The dawn of humanity, a journey 3.4 million years ago. Imagine a world 3.4 million years ago, where the first glimmers of humanity flickered in the vast, untamed wilderness. This was a time long before borders, cities, or written words. A primal era, 3.4 million years ago, when small bands of early humans roamed landscapes teeming with danger and possibility. Each sunrise, 3.4 million years ago, brought a new test. The gnawing ache of hunger, the shadowed threat of predators, and the unpredictable whims of a world untouched by human control. Yet, in this crucible of survival, our ancestors wove a rich tapestry of resilience, discovery, and connection, forging the very essence of what it means to be human. Let us step back 3.4 million years ago, to an age where every moment was a lesson, every action a step toward survival, and every bond a testament to the enduring strength of community. As dawn broke 3.4 million years ago, the world stirred with raw, untamed energy. Early humans, likely Australopithecines or early Homo species, awoke in small clusters, sheltered in caves, beneath rocky overhangs, or within fragile shelters crafted from branches and leaves. The air was crisp, laced with the earthy scent of dew-soaked soil, the faint sweetness of wildflowers, and the distant musk of grazing herds. A low roar or the sharp cry of a bird pierced the stillness, a reminder that danger was never far. These early humans, lean and weathered by constant movement, rose with purpose. Their dark eyes, sharp with intelligence, scanned their surroundings, their minds already attuned to the day's demands. Finding food, protecting their kin, and navigating a world where survival was a delicate dance. The group's leader, perhaps an elder with a face etched by years of sun and struggle, stood at the forefront. With a practiced eye, they studied the horizon, noting the sun's arc, the rustle of leaves, or the faint tracks of a passing animal. Communication was simple yet profound. Gestures, grunts, and soft vocalizations conveyed plans for the day. These early humans, 3.4 million years ago, were not merely reacting to their environment. They were learning its rhythms, adapting to its challenges, and weaving their survival into its fabric. Each morning was a ritual of vigilance, a quiet symphony of observation and preparation that set the tone for the day. Food was the heartbeat of existence 3.4 million years ago, and securing it demanded ingenuity, courage, and unity. The landscapes of this ancient world, sprawling savannas dotted with acacia trees, dense woodlands, and rocky hills, offered both bounty and peril. Gathering provided sustenance. Roots dug from the earth, berries plucked from thorny bushes, or tender leaves carefully selected by those with intimate knowledge of the land. But hunting was the true test of skill, a pursuit that defined the group's survival 3.4 million years ago. Armed with rudimentary tools, stone-tipped spears, sharpened sticks, or slings woven from vines, these early humans were relentless in their resourcefulness. Tool-making was a communal art, with individuals gathered in tight circles, chipping flint or obsidian into sharp edges or binding points to shafts with strips of hide. The rhythmic clink of stone on stone was a sound of progress, a testament to their growing mastery over their world. Children watched closely, their small hands mimicking the motions, learning patience as much as technique. These tools, crafted 3.4 million years ago, were not just implements, but symbols of human ingenuity, each one a small victory over the chaos of nature. Hunting parties moved with precision, their bodies low to the ground, blending into the tall grasses of the savanna. They read the land like a living map. Broken twigs, faint hoof prints, or the scatter of droppings signaled the presence of prey, perhaps a small antelope, a fleet-footed hare, or a nesting bird. The wind was their ally, carrying their scent away from their quarry. They observed the world around them, noting the sudden flight of birds or the nervous chatter of monkeys as warnings of nearby predators. Children, too young to lead, but old enough to learn, followed in their shadows, absorbing every silent signal. a raised hand for pause, a low whistle for danger. These lessons, etched 3.4 million years ago, were the foundation of survival, passed from one generation to the next. When predators struck, the world turned to chaos. A lion's roar or the stealthy approach of saber-toothed cat could transform a quiet hunt into a desperate fight. The group reacted as one. Some adults scooped up children, sprinting toward the safety of a cave or a rocky outcrop, while others stood firm, brandishing sticks and stones to drive the beast back. The air filled with shouts, the thud of feet, and the clatter of rocks against the earth. These encounters, 3.4 million years ago, were not just battles, but rituals of unity, forging bonds stronger than the tools they wielded. Each survival deepened their instincts, sharpened their courage, and reminded them of their place in a world ruled by nature's ferocity. When the hunt succeeded, the group returned to their gathering place, a clearing by a stream, a sheltered cave, or a cluster of weathered rocks. Here, the spoils were shared with meticulous care. A hunter, hands steady from practice, carved the meat with a flint blade, ensuring every member, from the smallest child to the friliest elder, received their portion. This act of sharing, 3.4 million years ago, was more than necessity. It was the soul of the group. It fostered trust, reinforced fairness, and wove individuals into a family. A child watching the division of meat learned not just how to wield a blade, but how to value equity, a lesson that would shape their world. These moments extended beyond food. In the shade of a tree or the glow of a fire, the group exchanged stories through gestures and sounds, their proto-language rich with meaning. A mother might mimic the leap of an antelope to teach her child, while an elder pointed to the stars, perhaps sharing a rudimentary sense of navigation or wonder. These exchanges, 3.4 million years ago, were the seeds of society, where empathy and cooperation were as vital as physical strength. Laughter, too, was part of this early community, perhaps a playful mimicry of a failed hunt or the delighted squeal of a child chasing a companion. These sounds, faint echoes from 3.4 million years ago, were the beginnings of joy, of connection, of humanity. Children were not mere bystanders, but active contributors. They gathered small fruits, carried water in hollowed gourds, or helped strip bark for cordage. Their contributions, however small, were valued, teaching them their role in the group's survival. Through play, they practiced hunting, wielding sticks as spears, or reenacting predator encounters in the dust. These games, 3.4 million years ago, were more than amusement. They were training grounds, sharpening reflexes, and embedding the importance of teamwork. A child who stumbled in play learned to stand again, just as the group stood together against the challenges of their world. In rare moments of calm, when hunger was sated and dangers distant, early humans turned to creation. Cave walls, smoothed by time, became canvases for their stories. Using pigments of ochre, charcoal, or crushed berries, they painted vivid scenes, leaping antelopes, charging predators, or the arc of a hunt. A handprint pressed against a rock was a declaration. I was here 3.4 million years ago. These artworks were more than beauty. They were lessons, teaching children the shape of prey, the speed of a predator, or the angle of a spear's thrust. They were memory aids, preserving knowledge for generations yet to come. Toolmaking was another form of art, blending utility with imagination. Under the shade of a tree, individuals chipped stones into blades, shaped bones into needles, or wove plant fibers into nets. Each tool was a question posed to the world. Would this stone hold a sharper edge? Could this vine bear weight? The answers came through trial and error, with successes shared and failures discarded. These moments, 3.4 million years ago, were collaborative, with knowledge flowing freely, passed through demonstration rather than words. A new technique for sharpening flint could spread through the group, each member refining it in their own hands. Play, too, was purposeful. Children raced across open ground, testing their speed, or wrestled in the dust, building strength. Adults crafted ornaments, beads from shells, carvings from bone, or experimented with sound, striking hollow logs or blowing through reeds to create primitive melodies. These activities, 3.4 million years ago, were not frivolous. They honed skills, sparked creativity, and strengthened bonds. A carved figurine or a rhythmic beat was a spark of culture, a sign that these early humans were not just surviving but dreaming, creating, and connecting. Vigilance was constant. Even in moments of rest, someone stood watch, perched in a tree or atop a boulder, scanning for the glint of a predator's eyes or the dust of an approaching group. Mealtimes were lessons, as children learned to identify edible plants, avoid toxic ones, and respect the elders who held this knowledge. The group's survival, 3.4 million years ago, depended on this cycle of observation, practice, and adaptation, each day building on the last. As night fell 3.4 million years ago, the world grew quiet, save for the howls of distant predators and the rustle of leaves. The group gathered around a fire, its flickering light a shield against the dark. Building a fire was a skill honed over generations. Knowing which woods burned longest, which stones could spark a flame, or how to nurture a fragile ember into a blaze. The fire, 3.4 million years ago, was more than warmth. It was the heart of the group, a place where stories were born, knowledge was shared, and bonds were deepened. Storytelling, even in its simplest form, was a sacred act. An elder might reenact a hunt, their gestures vivid as they mimicked the stalk of a predator or the thrust of a spear. Children listened, their eyes wide, absorbing not just the events but the emotions, the fear of a lion's charge, the triumph of a successful hunt. These stories, told 3.4 million years ago, were lessons, etching survival strategies into young minds. Music and rhythm wove through these tales, perhaps a steady beat on a log or a chant that rose and fell like the wind. Dance, too, was part of the ritual, movements mimicking animals or reenacting hunts, keeping spirits high and bodies warm. The firelit nights were also a time for wonder. Gazing at the stars, early humans might have felt a stirring curiosity, a sense of something greater than their immediate world. These moments, fleeting though they were 3.4 million years ago, were the seeds of philosophy, of questioning, of dreaming. The group's shared experiences, hunts, escapes, discoveries, became a collective memory, a legacy carried forward through gestures and sounds, long before the written word. The fire also served as a classroom. Elders taught the young to read the flames, to understand which woods burned brightest, or how to coax a spark from damp tinder. These lessons, 3.4 million years ago, were practical but also profound, teaching patience, observation, and respect for the elements. The fire was a gathering place, where laughter mingled with the crackle of burning wood, where a child's giggle or an elder's grunt of approval strengthened the group's unity. Life 3.4 million years ago was a crucible, forging the traits that define us today. Every day was a delicate balance of danger and opportunity, where survival demanded intelligence, cooperation, and creativity. From the first light of dawn to the glow of the nighttime fire, early humans learned to read their world, its rhythms, its dangers, its gifts. They tracked animals, gathered plants, crafted tools, and painted their stories on cave walls, each act a step toward mastering their environment. It was their bonds that truly set them apart. The act of sharing food, teaching children, or standing together against a predator was more than survival. It was the birth of society. Empathy, fairness, and trust were not abstract ideals, but necessities, woven into every interaction 3.4 million years ago. Through play, art, and storytelling, they nurtured creativity and imagination, qualities that would one day spark language, culture, and civilization. The seasons turned, landscapes shifted, and challenges evolved, but these early humans endured. They adapted to scorching summers and biting winters, to droughts and floods, to the ever-present threat of predators. Each challenge was a lesson, each success a triumph. Their tools grew sharper, their strategies smarter, their bonds stronger. In the face of a relentless world, they showed resilience, ingenuity, and an unyielding will to survive. This was the dawn of humanity 3.4 million years ago, a time when every day was a story of endurance and discovery. It was a world of danger, yes, but also of joy, connection, and wonder. The first humans were not just survivors. They were explorers, creators, and dreamers, laying the foundation for all that we are today. Their legacy lives in us, in our curiosity, our courage, and our capacity to come together in the face of the unknown. As we look back 3.4 million years ago, we see not just the dawn of humanity, but the spark of everything that makes us human. A spark that still burns bright in every step we take, every story we tell, and every bond we forge. Follow us for a new story every day in the short section.